The Binibining Pilipinas Pageant is back with a vengeance. And with the back-to-back wins of Cinderella, Faye, Obenita, and Maureen Montagne, we feel that it is now high time na mapag-usapan natin ang pageant na ito. Welcome back to my channel. This is Justin Cappuccino of Sashes&Scripts. And today, we will be discussing a very, very timely topic. But before we begin, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications bell so that you're updated with our pageant-related content. In the year 2020, the Binibining Pilipinas Pageant lost two of its biggest international franchises, the Miss Supranational and the Miss Universe franchise, to two other national pageants. And during that year, the pageant was postponed indefinitely because of the ongoing pandemic that is plaguing the country at that time. So it is understandable that pageant naysayers would spell the doom of the pageant. However, come 2021, things started to turn around for the pageant. During the first quarter of the year, when they started resuming some of their pageant activities, we saw that the Binibining Pilipinas pageant has regained energy, has renewed life into it, that it is now ready to bring forth to the pageant fans and to the pageant community a very renewed, a very revitalized organization. And during the first quarter of the year, we saw that they are now, not just experimenting, but rather they are offering something new to pageant fans. And the first thing that they brought into the foray is the augmented reality presentation of the national costumes of the candidates. They also, started releasing the candidates' national costumes individually, as compared to in previous years that they are all grouped into one folder on Facebook or on Instagram. And this, started or felt that the start of something new and something different with this age-old pageant. Established in the 1960s, the Binibining Pilipinas pageant is the oldest national pageant in the country. And dahil sa haba ng legacy nila, nakita natin yung progression ng kanilang very conservative, very, at times very outdated na pamamalakad ng pageant to a more dynamic and a more youthful and a more aggressive, social media aggressive pageant that we've seen them doing in the past, in the past year. We've seen that in their comeback this 2021, there is a revitalized energy in their activities, and nakita natin yun with the way that they embrace social media, that they use social media to reach more of their pageant fans. During the resumption of the pageant towards the middle of the year, nakita natin na nag-evolve yung pageant by allowing more live sessions, allowing more glam shots, allowing more photo shoots of the candidates, at hindi sila naging maramot sa mga pageant fans for access with the ladies in terms of interviews, in terms of photos, in terms of glamorous, glossy, social media presence, posts, and whatnot. And ito yung isa sa mga pagbabago na nakita natin with the Binibining Pilipinas pageant, na hindi sila naging that they build bridges to the pageant fans, to the pageant community through social media, unlike other national pageants na naging maramot sa access sa mga girls, not only to the fans but to pageant pages as well. Iba ang naging trato ng Binibining Pilipinas. Instead, they allowed people to have more access, to have more presence of the girls, to be more visible to the pageant fans and to the pageant community. And isa ito sa mga dahilan kung bakit ang mga fans napakagaan ng loob, napakaluwag ng damdamin when it comes to the Binibining Pilipinas pageant. And of course, hindi rin natin maaalis yung aspeto ng mga winners nila. And this year, we have seen the Binibining Pilipinas girls really performing at the international stage. First, we have Samantha Bernardo, who was first runner-up in Miss Grand International earlier this year. She had a very, very short preparation time from her announcement as the Miss Grand Philippines for 2020, and to the point na kinakailangan na niyang lumipad para sa Bangkok for the 2020 na edition ng pageant. And within that, 10 days of prep, nagawa niya ng paraan na maging pulido yung kanyang social media presence, ang kanyang mga glam shots na pasabog sa Instagram and Facebook, at napagtali-tali niya ito in just a matter of 10 days. She had one of the best wardrobes and one of the best, one of the best overall styling. Napag-isipan mula departure outfit hanggang sa finals na gown, napagplanuhan bawat araw na isusuot niya. And with Samantha being one of the ultimate performers on stage, mas lalong naging ganado ang mga pageant fans to support her in her journey. And isa din sa mga naging hallmark ng paglaban ni Samantha is the fact that napakagaan ng kanyang aura, ng kanyang vibes, ng energy that is surrounding her in the international competition, and she gave really very joyous performance, very happy, light-hearted performance throughout her competition. And that is something that really stuck to our heads as pageant fans, because parang ang saya niya na nakikipag-compete for the title in Bangkok. And although she didn't win the main title, she ended up as first runner-up to the eventual winner, who is also trained in the Philippines. Makita mo na ang pagsalubong sa kanya, ang trato sa kanya is parang siya pa rin yung nanalo. And I think that is one of the reasons why napamahal pa siya lalo sa mga pageant fans. And hindi rin natin maiaalis yung contribution ng Binibining Pilipinas, because they really gave all-out support on Samantha on social media, na nakikipagsabayan sila sa mga international pageant pages when it comes to release of glam shots, release of social media posts. Nakikipag-unahan sila sa mga pageant pages when it comes to updates, when it comes to even congratulating Samantha with her journey. They gave her send off and welcome when she came back, considering that she wasn't actually the original winner of the Binibining Pilipinas Grand title. It was passed on, or rather it was awarded on to Samantha, and with her hard work as well, na inilaban niya at trinabaho din niya yung pag-compete niya sa Bangkok for the Miss Grand na title. Makita mo na all out ang support ng kanyang Binibining Pilipinas family sa kanya, not only with her camp and not only with her stylists, not only with her with her glam team. And I think that Samantha really gave a strong performance na ang hirap ngayon pumantay sa level ng naibigay niya at an earlier stage of the international pageant season. And tandaan natin na first quarter siya lumaban, and subsequently lahat ng mga lumaban after her sa international na mga pageants, hindi ganon yung naramdaman natin lahat na saya sa pag-compete ng ating representative. Which brings us now to Cinderella Faye Obenita, who when she competed in Egypt, she had the same light energy, she had the same happy feeling in her competition, na parang hindi mo rin siya nakitaan ng stress, hindi mo siya nakitaan ng doubt in her competition. And I think that isa sa mga nakatulong kay Cindy is yung initial assessment natin sa kanya, that at that time when she won Binibining Pilipinas Intercontinental, she was not yet international ready. And thankfully the pageant happened in July, where she had time to prepare herself for what the international competition is going to need, or is going to look for a winner. And during that time, yung mga weak areas that we were able to point out for Cindy, trinabaho niya yon. Ginawa niya ng paraan na lahat ng mga areas na medyo kinakailangan ayusin, i-tweak or i-improve, she really did her homework and attack those areas that she needed to address on para mabigyan siya ng spot in the semifinals. And reading and watching yung mga interviews about the preparation, her preparation, and her stylists and her team's preparation for the international competition, talagang makitaan mo ng drive si Cindy na ibinigay niya lahat yung best niya in the competition. And that is what I think one of the reasons why she landed in the top 5. And alam naman natin na kapag binigyan mo ng mic si Cindy, lalamunin niya lahat ng mga makakalaban niya for the title. And once Cindy made it into the top 5 of the competition, with her ability to speak, ability to convince people with the way she eloquently said her thoughts, she delivered her message, you really have no choice but to crown her because of that very strong capability of Cindy to win people to root for her. And I think, it is so befitting that her name, Cinderella, she was crowned 12 o'clock in the evening. Midnight, alam naman natin na ang kwento ni Cinderella, her carriage turned to pumpkin, her gowns turned to rags, and that is not what happened with Cindy. She transformed from a competitor to crowned queen by the strike of midnight. And hindi rin natin maaalis yung suporta na ibinigay ng Binibining Pilipinas kay Cindy because during the Binibining Pilipinas pageant, what Binibining Pilipinas did to give prestige to add on prestige to the international franchise that they currently have was to spotlight our winners for these international franchises that they have. So, nagkaroon ng spotlight on Miss Globe, nagkaroon ng spotlight for Miss Intercontinental, for Miss Grand International, and for Miss International. That way, it elevated all of its national franchises to be able to ride off and kumbaga parang sumakay doon sa legacy, doon sa brand equity, doon sa strong brand name ng Binibining Pilipinas, yung 4 na international franchises na ito. And with that, a very strategic na move from Binibining Pilipinas, nakitaan naman natin ngayon na lahat ng mga ng mga candidates natin nabigyan ng opportunity to shine internationally, nabigyan ng special spotlight or if that's the correct word for it, because binigyan din naman kasi ng Binibining Pilipinas ng spotlight ang mga kanya-kanyang international pageants ng mga girls. Now, I know that the next girl in this list is technically not a Binibining Pilipinas queen. However, Alexandra Faye Garcia is a product of the Binibining Pilipinas 2020-2021 na batch. She is one of those candidates na who basically flew under the radar, although napaka-winnable din at napaka-strong na competitor din ni Alexandra. It just so happened that this year, instead of the usual top 25 or top 16 that we had in previous years, niliitan nila yung pwedeng makapasok sa semifinalist na circle. They only had a top 12 plus 1 wild card. And that meant that there is lost opportunities for other girls na pwedeng sumabak dun sa semis at makipagkumpetensya with the rest of the girls who made it into semis. And Alexandra is one of those girls who I, personally believe could have made great representation had she been made to one of those finalists or semi-finalists in Binibini. Alexandra, or Faith rather, is an entrepreneur and a triathlon. So doon pa lang, meron siyang level or meron siyang element of discipline that is instilled with her. And with the Binibining Pilipinas pageant, one of the most grueling, tiresome, and very exacting and demanding na national pageants because it is run through, not just several weeks of pre-pageant activities, but rather it goes to 2 to 3 months long. Na-train tuloy ang mga Binibining Pilipinas candidates to have that patience, to have that mental fortitude to compete at the level that is expected of them at the nationals pa lang. That is why when she was appointed as Miss Aura Philippines, we already knew that kahit na hindi mo i-train at the local level si Faith, she already had the goods to make it at the international level. And ipinakita nga niya sa competition niya sa Turkey that she was a strong competitor from the get-go. Ipinakita niya na yung training niya with the experience in Binibining Pilipinas, dala-dala niya yon hanggang sa international competition. Of course, hindi ko rin tatanggalin yung tulong, yung lahat ng naibigay na support ng Miss Aura Philippines organization kay Faith. I'm sure she was given the best arsenal that she can have for the international competition. However, being an appointee, yung experience of competing at the local level is still important, and I think that is where pinunuan or napunuan ng Binibining Pilipinas yung void na yon. And now that Alexandra Faith Garcia is Miss Aura International, makita natin ngayon na she is still attached to her. Kumbaga parang attached pa rin sa pangalan niya yung pagiging Binibining Pilipinas candidate niya. And I think, that is a testament to why the Binibining Pilipinas pageant is still arguably, or rather is the best national pageant here in the Philippines. With that being said, ngayon ang pag-uusapan natin is si Maureen Montagne, who in an interview with Binibining Pilipinas Nicole Cordoves, she said that with all her experience, pageant experience from 2013 to the present, she mentioned that the Binibining Pilipinas pageant is the best pageant here in the Philippines. And for her to say something as strongly worded and as strong and impactful and powerful statement as that, it means that she has seen how national pageants have been run, and she knows by experience that the Binibining Pilipinas is definitely a cut above the rest. And Maureen, with her, with all her gorgeousness, with all her God-given beauty and wits and everything, the mere fact that when she was asked why she chose to be, to join Binibining Pilipinas over Miss Universe Philippines in one of our interviews, she said that because there are so many unknown factors in Miss Universe Philippines, and she wants something that is more stable, something that has a legacy. That's why she chose Binibining Pilipinas. It communicates that that Maureen is ready, or rather is looking for a very professionally run organization. And I think that is one of the things that makes Binibining Pilipinas a cut above the rest among the national competitions, because even yung treatment sa amin sa media, iba yung treatment ng Binibining Pilipinas sa amin. They treat us as partners. They treat us as people who will help build up their brand. And I think that kind of relationship, that professional relationship that you get from the Binibining Pilipinas, or that you don't necessarily get with other national pageants, speaks volumes on how stable the organization is. And when you are talking to the people in Binibining Pilipinas, there are levels of staffs, of managers, of officers that na hindi ito yung hinugod lang mula kung saan-saan yung mga staff ng pageant para lang may tumao for a certain position. Hindi ganun ang Binibining Pilipinas. Now, because of that aspect, na there is a structure behind the pageant. There is an organizational structure behind the pageant. Pageant girls who are crowned queens of these orgs, specifically for Binibining Pilipinas, they they benefit with having such a professionally run organization, and that speaks volumes. That is something that we don't necessarily see with other national pageants. Hindi natin nakikitaan ang Binibining Pilipinas ng mga questionable na mga posts on social media, mga posts na nagmumura, mga posts na nagsusugal, mga posts na medyo questionable yung nature, or very very unbecoming of an organization. Hindi yun natin nakikita with Binibining Pilipinas, and that is one of the things that makes it a strong national organization, that makes it a respectable national organization. And when you have a respectable national organization that is run professionally, it benefits the girls ultimately, because they're not going to have stress on the national org not paying the franchise fee para makapag-compete sila internationally, or hindi sila nagkakaroon ng problema with stylists na hindi nababayaran during the national pageant. Tapos ang hinahabol ng mga stylists na to is yung mga crown queens later on. So they don't have that kind of issue, or they don't have that kind of problems that they need to handle. And that is why, with all of this in mind, all of the things that I've mentioned in this video na dahilan kung bakit napakagaling ng Binibining Pilipinas, that they are able to survive the loss of the Miss Universe and the Miss Supranational franchises, you will now see that the Binibining Pilipinas pageant is able to maintain its legacy, to maintain its strong brand name, its strong branding throughout the upheavals that had happened in 2020. And I think that with the org adapting and adopting more modern ways to embrace what the pageant fans wants and needs from a national pageant, a respectable national pageant, they are on the right track of regaining, whatever they've lost in terms of, franchises. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon is that it's the branding of the Binibining Pilipinas that makes it float in a very tumultuous na times. Hindi siya nagre-rely doon sa mabangong pangalan ng international organization or ng international pageant para lang makapag-survive siya locally. And I think that is a testament why Binibining Pilipinas is back with a vengeance. Because when we all thought that they are the ones who's going to suffer the most with the loss of this, huge international franchises, they're the ones who are actually educating national pageants on how a pageant and how a pageant organization is professionally run. And I think, national organizations here and abroad can take a page of the Binibining Pilipinas Charities Incorporated in terms of professionalism. That's it for today's video. That brings this discussion to its conclusion. I hope that you love this video. I hope that you like it. Please leave a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. And let's see each other again in the next video. Okay, that's it from me. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.